Evcol.
The Choice by C. Edward Sellner.
New York City. The city that never sleeps. Some call it the greatest city in the world. But from what I've seen, my guess is that's a load of crap. I mean, sure, it's got its high marks. The Empire State Building, Radio City Music Hall, Times Square, Broadway, Central Park, Ellis Island, all the museums. All the good stuff that lures in the looky-loos. But that's on the surface. That's the part of NYC everyone wants to believe in. Everyone wants it to be the bastion of freedom and democracy, the seat of unlimited wealth and power, the cultural center for the arts, the place where anyone can live their dreams. I don't know, maybe it really is all those things. But I find, like with most people, if you scratch just below the finely tailored surface, you're gonna find a festering sore full of pus. There's a reason all those great see-the-city spots are way up high in the sky. The city always looks clean and nice from up there. That's my job, by the way, to scratch below the surface, to dig deeper and clean out the pus. I'm a cop, NYPD. Over 20 years on the force, and what have I got to show for it? A rundown apartment in the bad part of town. A freaking ulcer that has me drinking Pepto-Bismol and whiskey chasers every night, and dinner out of a bag at 1 a.m. Oh, and enough stories about the worst humanity has to offer to make the toughest-nails crowd curl up in a ball crying for their mommy. But it wasn't always like this. I joined the force after 9/11. I was just finishing college, not sure what I wanted to do, and then the two towers fell. I went the next day and applied to the academy, like a lot of others. Cops then were heroes, and everyone loved them. And all it took was 70-some of them to die in this city's darkest day. But for me, it wasn't about being a hero. It was about helping people. Making the world a better place. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make the world a better place.
Morning, Jake.
Morning. How's business?
Doing well. Thanks for all you and yours do for the city.
By the time I made Beat Cop, folks were still thanking every Joe Schmo in uniform. People were glad to see us, and we walked proud down the streets, doing our best to be a visible and assuring presence.
Officer Corrigan, guess what I'm gonna be for Halloween?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm gonna be a police officer.
That's great, kid. Knowing you're coming up in the ranks, I can retire knowing things will be in good hands in a few years. I made sure everyone on my beat knew my name. I walked it more than drove, even when it was frowned on. I stopped in places to greet folks. I always got my morning coffee and lunch in different spots on a rotation, so I got to know the owners and employees, as well as their regulars. I spent some of my time off volunteering at a local youth center, talking to at-risk kids that found it a safe place to be. I made sure they felt safe with me, could talk to me if they were in trouble.
Jake, it's Juanita. She looks pretty scared, roughed up. She's in the office, said she'll only talk to you about it.
I knew that kid she'd been dating was bad news. Tried to warn her. He's already got a juvie rap sheet for violent assault. All right, I got this. To me, all that was what being a cop was all about. That badge meant something. Not just to me, but to a lot of guys on the force. Also to a lot of the people in the streets. At least it did to the people on my watch. Sure, there were a few bad apples, but by and large, we were the good guys. I don't know. At least it seemed that way to me. But I was just a naive little snot. Right up to that day. What the? Why'd you shoot him? He had his hands up. He was surrendering.
He was a thug. Resisting arrest. I felt threatened. I mean, look at him. He's one of them anyways. No great loss.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know exactly what I mean. Besides, I thought he had a gun.
That was a phone!
Look, Corrigan, it's about time you learn how this really works. If we're partners, you have my back. I have yours. We clean some of these people off the streets, all the better. All you gotta do is back up my story and we're gold. Wait, what are you doing, Corrigan? Stop pointing that thing at me.
Drop your weapon. I'm placing you under arrest.
You gotta be kidding me, kid. Do you know the crap you will bring down on you?
Drop it. Now.
You're making a big mistake, kid.
In the grand scheme of things, it certainly feels that way at times. I was suspended for 6 months without pay on some trumped-up bull. My former partner got a slap on the wrist, but no charges. And when they finally brought me back, well, it was clear I was the station pariah. They've been trying to make me quit every day since. At first, I was given desk duty, but eventually started getting solo gigs, like School Cop, Dare Cop. I applied for a transfer, but was refused. It took me 3 times as long as it should have for me to finally make detective. And that was only after I got a spotlight in the press for saving an undercover cop from a major drug deal gone wrong. The mayor insisted I get the gold shield then. My captain hated that, but he did it anyway. But then stuck me on Vice and made sure I caught all the worst cases. Ditto when I made Homicide. My life feels like the butt end of a bad joke sometimes.
Hey, Corrigan. Feeling lonely tonight?
You ask me that every night, and you always get the same answer, Rosie.
A girl can always hope, can't she?
Sure, Rosie, you can always hope. I guess that's all that keeps us going.
Another late night, Corrigan?
Ain't they all? Here's a $5, Ed. It's all I got on me tonight. That and your tuna sub.
I can always count on you for a friendly chat and a little something. You're a good man there, Jake.
Don't know about all that, old-timer. Still wish you'd let me hook you up at a shelter.
Oh, ain't my style.
No! Let me go!
Jesus!
What the hell?
Did you see that, Corrigan? I swear somebody just lifted her right off the ground and pulled her back into that alley.
Go. Find a cop. Or call 911 at the corner.
What about you?
I'm going after her.
Oh, get off me! What are you?
Hey, dirtbag. NYPD. Drop the girl. Holy shit. I can't believe what I'm seeing. This guy is crouching on the handrail of a fire escape, 30 feet up, like Spider-Man or something, holding Rosie like a rag doll in one hand. And there's so much blood. And his face. It ain't human.
Welcome, Jake Corrigan, and congratulations. You are my choice.
Things like him aren't supposed to exist. Stay back. His speed. Those goddamn teeth. His inhuman strength. He's twisting me up and holding me like I'm some kid. Pulling my head back and exposing my neck. Holy... Not what I intended when I stopped for a bite. All this blood over me. Shouldn't I be dead?
No, Jake Corrigan. As I said, you are my choice.
So what? My blood is finger-licking good? Hell, you're a real vampire, aren't you? You look human now, but before, like some nightmare with fangs and red eyes.
Oh, come, my dear boy. Everyone knows vampires are mere myth. But, like most myth, they have a basis in fact. My kind are that fact.
And just what fact are they?
Long ago, creatures, what you might call demons, oft chose to walk the earth. To taste its delights, as it were. Oh, they found you humans so intriguing. Their dalliances, shall we say, often bore fruit. Now, their progeny looked mortal, but their mothers most often knew their true origins. The horrible things that came out of the dark to have their way. The horrors they still saw in their nightmares every night. Few took their children from such unions, but there were always others. Others who gave what was needed.
Demon babies? Seriously?
Indeed. They were the first of the Shedhin. My people. My kind. We are many clans, each of which can trace our origin back to a single demonic sire. One whose nature defined our own, whose gifts were passed down, but often with a curse, a binding that reminds us of our dark origins and fate. My clan are called many things, among them the vampire. And yes, we are indeed what you might call vampires.
Sounds like it sucks to be you.
Oh, perhaps, though not all the stories are true, but... You're feeling it now, aren't you?
What are you doing? Feels like you're in my head.
Yes, that's the bonding between us, linking our minds, our very life essence. I can understand you so much better now. Even from a distance, I could sense your strength, your stubbornness, your driving will to survive, all of which made you the perfect choice. But now I see far more. I see the young idealist you used to be, the scarred and bitter man you've become. Oh, how much it sucks to be you.
You son of a... Get out of my head, you mother...
Now you're beginning to feel the bloodlust that my clan must live with. The hunger that gnaws at us. But fear not, Jake Corrigan. You need not drink the blood of others to survive. What you feel is the echo of my own hunger, just as I now feel the urgings of your mortal mind. The prostitute, you cared for her, despite barely knowing her.
We worked the same streets. I saw her every day. Tried so many times to get her to change careers, but she was too proud, so I kept my eye out for her. What of it, bloodsucker?
Ah, there's that stubborn defiance I so treasure from my chosen. And that human conflict I find so intriguing in your kind. The same internal conflict that plagues so many of our younger generations, where the blood is diluted by long lines of human ancestry. Disgusting.
What the heck are you talking about?
Oh, come now, Jacob. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Take you as an example. Once you held such high ideals, such naive views of the world. You believed one man could make a difference in the world, didn't you? You've tried desperately to cling to that belief, despite your life becoming ever deeper mired in the muck and filth of humanity. Your kind prey upon one another in so many ways. So much of it you and all your kind are so willing to overlook when it's far away, or to people different than you. But let it be in your city, and you decide to change your entire life in response. Really? How many massacres? How many slaughters happened in your lifetime that warranted nothing from you?
There are limits to what one person can do. Yeah, sure, there were plenty of times I saw ugly crap on the news. What could I do about stuff happening on the other side of the world?
Even when it was your own people doing the harm.
What do you mean?
You chose to wear a badge, to become part of the system. A system and a country who has practiced its own atrocities throughout the world. What do you say to those, oh noble man?
Those are different? No. Not going to cover it over. No, you're right. We've screwed up a lot. But I still believe the best way to change the system is from within. That's what I've always tried to do. I can't believe I am sitting in a pool of my own blood, arguing politics with a vampire.
Oh, that may be what you believed a long time ago, but we both know otherwise now, don't we? I can sense it in you. Your disillusionment with your so-called police, your government, your country.
Shut up!
You've watched everything you believed in torn away like blinders from your eyes. You've watched a country you once believed be the greatest in the world sink into a demoralizing failed experiment. I can feel your disgust over the hatred and bigotry now spoken openly from the highest offices. The lies that are used to lead so many of you like sheep right to the slaughter. The lost, the broken, ones who've already given up their hopes for a better life and now just do their best to survive, much like you.
You don't know me, you freak!
Oh, but I do, Jacob. Now, perhaps better than you know yourself. Your darkness, your anger, your bitterness, your conscience. It is a dying light, Jacob, and now that we are bound, it will soon be snuffed out.
What is this bond you keep talking about? Me being your chosen? What the hell are you rambling about?
I am one of the oldest of my kind, one of the most powerful of my clan, a near pure blood, untainted by so many human ancestors. I am not bothered with such a small thing as a conscience. I have no human urgings or desires to fit in or to belong. No, I see your kind as what they truly are, breeding stock and food.
Okay, so you're a right proper asshole. What has that got to do with me?
My curse, my life force is tied to a circle of chosen mortals I must infect with the blood. But, leave alive. You do not become vampire. You gain none of the powers of my kind, but you are given the gift of natural immortality.
You mean I can't die?
Oh, you can die, my dear boy, just not from age or natural causes. You will never grow old, never grow sick and weak. But, as my dear Marcus learned, you can still be killed with sufficient force.
So, what? You needed me to replace Marcus in your little kumbaya circle. Why? What is it we chosen do for you?
We are all bound in our life force. I draw life from you and the others. You draw life from me. If one is lost, I grow weakened until he or she is replaced. But the true beauty of my curse is that I cannot be harmed by any force as long as my circle is whole. I am untouchable by human cattle. Even my own kind would be unable to kill me.
That don't sound much like a curse for us, or you.
My dear Jake Corrigan, there is one little catch. Just as if one of you is killed, I weaken. Were all of you to die, I would perish. And you'll enjoy this bitter irony, which I'm sure you're sensing even now. I am vulnerable only to my chosen, but to kill me, well, you would be killing yourself. Damning your soul for all eternity.
How many have you killed? How many people?
Oh, thousands, easily. I never really bothered to count, but that is something I do so enjoy, and you through our bond will feel their deaths, hear their screams, feel their lives snuffed like the flames of a candle.
You know that glimmer of conscience you talked about? Those ideals you claim I've lost? The reason I first put on a badge. Maybe they ain't as gone as you think.
What you doing, Corrigan? You know the price of this threat.
One man's soul, a handful of lives, to stop something like you? That's my choice. Hell, at this point, I'd pull the trigger just to shut you up.
This was an Evcol Entertainment Clockwork Digital Studios original production, a part of the On Another Wavelength audio anthology series, featuring the voice talents of Leonora Haig, Will Harrison-Wallace, Mitch Howell, and Chris Machari. Written by C. Edward Sellner, directed and produced by Simon James Collier, series created and co-produced by Adam Dechanel. Soundscape design, Zachary Elliott-Hatton.